We're gonna go to a variations of attacks, which of course, because this class is for the certification, we cover pretty much the attacks which should be relevant for the current blueprint of the exam. But otherwise, it's much more types of attacks than we're gonna speak in here. And after we cover the types of attacks, you're going to see what are the commonly used technologies to provide countermeasures against those attacks. And then pretty much the next upcoming days, the following 2 days, we're going to speak in more details about some of those tools. So mainly we're going to speak in the upcoming days about the AAA, so providing network access, providing AA services for device administration. We'll speak about a control plane security tools, about management plane security tools, and then we're going to go to the firewall, speak about a firewall stuff on both ASA firewall and iOS firewall, and about VPNs, as I was saying. So today is going to be mostly theory, and for the attacks point of view, we're going to speak about a few of them as relevant to the CCNA blueprint, and then we're going to touch base with even fewer of the countermeasures when we go to the CLI to see live examples of those. So social engineering, as the name states, it has to do with something which has to do with socializing basically, and it allows for the attacker to do some kind of engineering of the social environment, so of the social thing, so that it gains benefits from the users or from the network. What is basically it is nothing else but people manipulation in order to gain benefits. So one example could be like shoulder watching, which when the attacker watches you as you type your password or card pin code. So this is actually pretty widely deployed for, let's say, users that don't in general pay attention as they type sensitive data somewhere like a username, a password, a pin code, a one-time password code. So any of those things which are any of the credentials being typed in, if the user is not paying attention, somebody could watch their keyboard, watch all the shoulder watching, and basically memorize or grab that password, and then it can use the same credentials as the user used and gain the same system access level as that user. Another type of social engineering is called fake phone calls, asking for sensitive information, spoofing identity. Like as I was saying before, is like you receive a call from somebody who claims to be from the security department, from the help desk environment, and they're pretending to do some basic consistency checks. They can even, because they know your name, they can actually make the call to sound legitimate. Like they ask you, "Hello, Christian. Hello, we have a security check going on. Let me ask you some questions in here." So you provide answers before we go to the real question. Like he's gonna state, "Before I can ask you what I have to ask you, let me make sure that I'm actually speaking with you as Christian." And then because the attacker knows your name, maybe knows things about your family or friends, he may ask you questions that is gonna sound like, if he knows those, if the attacker can ask those questions, it means he knows things about you. So it could be somebody from the help desk department who has let's say visibility into your account as an employee, and knows your birth date, and may know your name, your family name, your first name and last names. It may also know I don't know, the date that you got employed, and all those kind of things. So over the phone, the attacker is gonna behave like is gonna fake its identity, and it's going to provide to the user with some input that a user is going to be tricked into believing that that's a legitimate call from the help desk. And then in the end, the attacker is going to ask for sensitive information like the username or the password, those kind of things. And then the user, because the phone looked legitimate, it is going to provide those to the attacker, and then that's it. Also, other ways of social engineering is going to be phishing via email, where the victim receives a spoofed email from his bank asking for his credentials. I hope pretty much everybody has seen this before. Hopefully not happening to you, but has heard a list about it. Like the user receives an email from the which seems to be from his bank, and the bank is asking, "Hey, we have a security check going on. Please log into this website, authenticate, and do whatever." And then the user goes in that on that website, puts in their credentials, but actually the website is a fake website, and the user is going to actually leak its username and password to the attacker. Other ways could be USB memory sticks lost on purpose, which those sticks, as we were speaking before, those are going to be looking very good, to be fancy and appealing to the user, to grab them to begin with. And then as user takes it for the use of it, is going to connect it to the computer, but it has a hidden partition that installs malicious software which the user is not even aware of. And most of that malicious code nowadays is not even detectable by most of the endpoint system security checks like antivirus or anti-spyware. We're going to speak about this briefly in a couple as well.